The radio signal came on a Tuesday. It was sharp, clear, and definitely not from Earth. After decades of listening to the stars, humanity finally heard something back. Dr. Alan Foster nearly fell out of his chair when the computers at the SETI lab started beeping. He had spent 15 years of his life waiting for this moment. His hands shook as he called his team. "You need to see this now," he said into the phone, his voice barely above a whisper. Within hours, the United Nations called an emergency meeting. World leaders gathered in New York as scientists tried to decode the message. It took 3 days, but they finally understood what it said. "We have been watching. We will arrive in 7 days. Prepare your leaders." The world held its breath. Some people panicked and hid. Others celebrated in the streets. Most just waited, glued to their TVs and phones for updates. On the 7th day, a sleek silver ship appeared in the sky above New York. It hovered silently, twice the size of the largest aircraft carrier, but making no sound at all. Smaller ships broke away from it and landed gently in Central Park. Major Susan Miller stood at attention as the ships opened. She had been chosen to represent Earth's military forces. Next to her, Dr. Foster fidgeted with his glasses. The UN Secretary General stepped forward, ready to greet whoever, or whatever, came out. The aliens were tall and elegant. They had smooth blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. Their eyes were large and entirely black, showing no emotion at all. They moved with perfect grace, like dancers. "I am Ambassador Zix Ton of the Veldari," the tallest alien said in perfect English. "I speak for the Galactic Council. We have come to formally acknowledge your species." The formal meeting took place at the UN headquarters. Humans from every nation watched as cameras broadcast the historic event worldwide. Hope filled the room. Perhaps this was the beginning of a new age for humanity. New technology, space travel, cures for diseases. But those hopes quickly faded. "Your species has finally developed basic interstellar communication," Ambassador Zix Ton said, looking around the room with what seemed like mild amusement. "Though your methods are quaint." Dr. Foster cleared his throat. "Our technology may seem simple to you, but we're learning quickly. We've made huge advances in just the last century." The alien made a sound that might have been a laugh. "Yes, you have managed to stop destroying your planet quite so quickly. An achievement, I suppose." Major Miller's face remained calm, but her hands tightened into fists under the table. "The Galactic Council has decided to offer Earth-protected status," the ambassador continued. "We will monitor your development and ensure no outside threats disturb you. In return, you will remain within your solar system until we determine you are ready to join galactic society." "And when might that be?" the Secretary General asked. "Hard to say. Most species need at least another 1,000 years after reaching your current stage," Zix Ton replied casually. "Your kind is particularly aggressive and unpredictable. It may take longer." The room fell silent. This wasn't first contact as anyone had imagined. This was being told to stay in a playpen until the adults decided they could come out. "With all due respect," Dr. Foster said, standing up, "we have a right to determine our own future." "Of course you believe that," the ambassador said kindly, as one might speak to a child. "All primitive species do. That's why we must protect you from yourselves." As the meeting ended, Major Miller walked with Dr. Foster back to their temporary offices. "They think we're pets," she said quietly. Dr. Foster nodded slowly. "They called us primitive, but they don't really know us, do they?" Outside the window, the alien ships gleamed in the setting sun, beautiful and advanced beyond human understanding. "For now. They might regret underestimating us someday," Miller said, looking up at the ships. Neither of them knew how right she was. The lunar observation post gleamed like a jewel against the dark side of the moon. From Earth, it looked like a new star had been born. The Galactic Council had built it in just 3 days, showing off their advanced technology to the primitive humans below. Dr. Lisa Rodriguez stared out the window of the shuttle as it approached the alien structure. As one of Earth's leading experts on cultural exchange, she had been chosen to work with the Council observers. The shuttle docked with a soft click, so different from the rough landings of human spacecraft. "Welcome to Observation Post Terra," said a tall alien with purple skin. "I am Scientist Krell. You will assist us in understanding human behavior patterns." Lisa forced a smile. "I'm happy to help build understanding between our species." The alien blinked slowly. "There is nothing to understand. We have studied thousands of developing species. Yours follows predictable patterns." Over the next few weeks, Lisa worked alongside the alien scientists. They recorded everything: human news broadcasts, internet traffic, military movements. They took samples of Earth's plants, animals, and water. They interviewed humans from different countries about their lives and beliefs. And they were always condescending. "Fascinating how they still eat animal flesh," one alien said, not bothering to lower its voice while interviewing a chef. "Their medicine still relies on cutting open bodies," another commented during a hospital visit. Lisa bit her tongue each time. Getting angry would only prove their points about emotional human instability. Meanwhile, on Earth, Jack Wilson sat in his small apartment surrounded by screens and makeshift equipment. 5 years ago, the scientific community had laughed him out of academia for his theories about quantum energy applications. Now he watched endless footage of alien ships, studying their movement, their lights, the subtle distortions they created in the air around them. "They're using quantum field manipulation," he muttered to himself, scribbling notes. "But they're only using symmetrical field patterns. Why? There's so much more potential." Jack noticed something the aliens seemed to take for granted. Their technology always followed the same elegant patterns. Perfect, beautiful, unchanged for what must have been thousands of years, but also predictable. At the lunar post, Lisa sat through another condescending meeting. "Humans spend nearly a third of their lives unconscious," Krell announced to the group. "Such inefficiency." "We call it sleep," Lisa said calmly. "And it's when our brains process information and form creative connections. A primitive workaround for limited neural capacity," another alien commented. That evening, Lisa received permission to return to Earth for a weekend. The alien saw no reason to deny such requests. After all, where could humans go? What could they possibly do that would matter? She met Jack at a small coffee shop in Boston. They had been friends in college before his career imploded. "They don't see us clearly," she told him quietly. "They've decided we're primitive, and now they only see evidence that supports that view." Jack nodded, sliding his tablet across the table. "And that's their weakness. Look at these engine configurations. They're beautiful, perfect, and they never vary. Not once in 6 months of observation." "What are you saying?" "I'm saying they stopped innovating. They found perfect solutions and stopped looking for better ones." Jack's eyes gleamed with excitement. They'd been advanced so long they'd forgotten how to be creative. Lisa thought about the aliens' dismissive reports. Pages and pages documenting human deficiencies, while completely missing humanity's greatest strengths: adaptability, determination, and the constant drive to improve. "They think we're animals in a zoo," she said. "Then they built the cage too early," Jack replied. "We're not done evolving yet." Neither suspected how soon the Council would learn this truth for themselves. 6 months passed since the Galactic Council had established their observation post. Humans continued their lives under the watchful eyes of their self-appointed guardians. Some protested the alien presence, others welcomed it, but most simply adapted to the new reality. Then everything changed in a single day. The massive Council ship above New York suddenly burst into action. Smaller vessels came and went at high speed. The usually calm aliens moved with urgent purpose. Dr. Alan Foster was called to an emergency meeting at the UN. When he arrived, he found Ambassador Zixton waiting. The alien looked different. His perfect posture was gone, replaced by a slight stoop. His shimmering blue skin seemed duller. "Is everything all right, Ambassador?" Alan asked. "No," the alien said simply. "The Council faces a grave threat. He paused, as if the words were difficult. "We need your help." Major Susan Miller, who had been watching silently from the corner, stepped forward. "What kind of threat could possibly concern beings as advanced as yourselves?" The ambassador activated a device that projected a three-dimensional image in the center of the room. It showed strange ships, not elegant like council vessels, but rough, asymmetrical, covered in odd growths that pulsed with sickly green light. "The Vex," Zixton said quietly. "A species unlike any we have encountered before. Part machine, part organic. They think as one mind but act through billions of bodies." The projection changed to show a beautiful planet with 3 moons. Then the Vex ships appeared. Within minutes, the planet's surface was covered in fire. This was Ilaria, one of our oldest worlds. Population of 8 billion. Now it is gone. The room fell silent. "But your weapons, your shields," Alan began. "Are useless," the ambassador finished. "The Vex use quantum-based technology that bypasses our defensive systems. Our ships, our weapons, all designed for efficiency and elegance, cannot adapt quickly enough." Susan's eyes narrowed. "And what exactly do you think we can do about it?" "Your species thinks differently," Zixton said. "You are unpredictable. Your approach to physics, while primitive, may offer perspectives we have overlooked." The ambassador straightened his posture, seeming to find his dignity again. "The Council offers Earth full membership status, equal trading rights, access to all our technology, in exchange for your assistance in the war against the Vex." Alan and Susan exchanged glances. This was not the same arrogant alien who had dismissed humanity 6 months ago. "I'll need to consult with our leaders," Susan said carefully. "Of course," the ambassador nodded. "But please understand, time is critical. 3 council worlds have already fallen. 12 more are under attack." After Zixton left, Susan turned to Alan. "They dismissed us as primitive savages, and now they want our help." "Desperation makes for strange diplomacy," Alan replied. "But this could be humanity's chance to prove our worth." Within hours, the UN Security Council convened. World leaders debated through the night. Some argued against helping those who had looked down on humanity. Others saw an opportunity to advance human interests. "They treated us like children," the Russian representative argued. "Let them solve their own problems." "Yes, they did," the representative from Kenya countered. "But if these Vex defeat the Council, what happens to Earth? We would face them alone." After 18 hours of debate, they reached a decision. Earth would help, but as equals, not as primitives granted a favor. When Jack Wilson heard the news, he immediately called Lisa Rodriguez. "Did you hear?" he asked without greeting. "About the Vex?" "Yes. The aliens at the observation post are in total panic." "This is it," Jack said, his voice intense. "This is our chance to show what humans can really do." "If we succeed," Lisa cautioned. "When we succeed," Jack corrected. "They called us primitive. Now they get to see what primitive really means." The world's television screens showed the same image. A team of humans boarding an alien ship. Colonel Olivia Parker led the military group, her face calm but determined. Behind her walked Jack Wilson, carrying only a small bag with his notes and tools. Dr. Lisa Rodriguez followed, along with 20 other experts from around the world. "This is humanity's first step into the greater galaxy," the UN Secretary General had announced earlier. "We go not as servants, but as equals." The ship took off silently, becoming a small dot in the sky, then vanishing completely. On board, the humans found themselves in surroundings of breathtaking beauty. The walls seemed alive, shifting with soft colors. The air smelled sweet, like spring flowers. We will reach Council headquarters in 3 days, Ambassador Zix Tan explained. Your bodies will need time to adjust to different gravity. Colonel Parker nodded. We'll use that time to study everything you have on the Vex. The ambassador hesitated. Some of our leaders still question the wisdom of sharing advanced knowledge with your kind. Your kind is under attack, Jack said bluntly, and your kind asked for our help. Either we get full access, or we go home. Zix Tan stared at him for a long moment, then nodded slowly. You will have access. For 3 days, the humans studied Vex attack patterns, Council defense systems, and battle records. They worked in shifts, barely sleeping. Jack pored over technical specifications that most human scientists wouldn't understand for centuries. Lissa interviewed Council members about Vex behavior, looking for patterns. Colonel Parker studied the battles, mapping them out on a large screen. They're not random, she said on the 3rd day. The Vex attacks follow a pattern, like something I've seen before. The ship arrived at Council headquarters, a massive space station orbiting a neutron star. The structure was enormous, housing representatives from over 300 species. The humans were given quarters in a distant section, far from the important areas. They still don't trust us, Lisa observed. They don't have to trust us. They just have to listen, Colonel Parker replied. Their first meeting with the full council did not go well. We brought these humans to provide a fresh perspective, Zix Tan explained to the gathered representatives. A tall, insect-like alien clicked its mandibles in disapproval. Fresh or crude? Their civilization has barely begun. What could they possibly offer? Jack stepped forward. We've analyzed your defensive shield configurations. They're perfect, symmetrical. That's why they fail against Vex quantum weapons. The room erupted in dismissive noises. Our shields are the result of 6,000 years of development, a floating, cloud-like being announced. They cannot be improved. They can't be improved along the paths you've been following, Jack corrected. But there are other paths. Colonel Parker joined him. The Vex attack patterns match historical Earth strategies, specifically those used by nomadic warriors against settled civilizations. They probe, find weak points, then strike hard and fast. Your responses are too predictable. The council members exchanged glances. Some looked intrigued, others offended. You ask us to abandon elegant solutions for crude ones, the insect-like alien demanded. We ask you to try something the Vex won't expect, Lisa said. Sometimes primitive is exactly what you need. Later, in their quarters, the human team regrouped. They're not going to listen, Jack said, frustrated. Colonel Parker looked thoughtful. Not yet, but they will when they have no other choice. And when will that be? Lisa asked. As if in answer, alarms began to sound throughout the station. Red lights flashed. The station's artificial gravity flickered. A voice came over the communication system. Attention all beings. Vex ships have been detected in this sector. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. The humans looked at each other. Their moment had come sooner than expected. Time to show them what primitive really means, Colonel Parker said, reaching for her uniform. Chaos filled the council station. Aliens rushed through corridors, their usual calm replaced by fear. Screens showed 5 Vex ships approaching. Ugly, asymmetrical things that looked like they had grown rather than been built. In the command center, the council's military leaders argued about defense strategies. Jack Wilson stood silently in the corner, watching as they debated the same failed tactics they had used before. We should boost shield frequencies, one commander insisted. No, we must evacuate the leadership, another countered. Colonel Parker caught Jack's eye and nodded. It was time to speak up. Your shields won't work, Jack said, his voice cutting through the noise. The Vex weapons use quantum tunneling to bypass symmetric energy fields. The room fell silent as all eyes turned to him. What would you suggest, human? Asked the Supreme Commander, a tall being with 6 arms. something the Vex won't expect. Jack pulled out his tablet and displayed a diagram. Asymmetrical shielding. Random patterns that change every 3 seconds. Not elegant, not efficient. But the Vex can't predict it. The Council engineers looked horrified. That would waste enormous energy, one protested. Better than being dead, Colonel Parker said bluntly. Lisa stepped forward with her own findings. The Vex operate as a hive mind. They think together, but this makes them slow to adapt to truly new situations. If we can surprise them, we gain precious seconds. The Supreme Commander studied the humans' faces. You are certain of this? No, Jack admitted, but your current methods are certainly failing. After a brief discussion, the commander made his decision. We will try the human approach. Begin modifications immediately. Engineers rushed to implement Jack's designs. Council technicians looked disgusted by the crude, inefficient changes, but they worked quickly. Colonel Parker joined the tactical team, suggesting positioning that seemed illogical to the Council strategists. Spread your ships out randomly, not in formation, she instructed. The Vex expect patterns. Don't give them any. The Vex ships entered weapons range. On screen, the lead vessel charged its main weapon, a sickly green glow building at its center. Shields at full, the Supreme Commander ordered. The station's energy fields sprang to life, but now they flickered and shifted in random patterns. The Vex fired. Their beams struck the shields and stopped. For a moment, no one spoke. The shields had held. It worked, a Council engineer said, sounding stunned. Don't celebrate yet, Colonel Parker warned. They'll adapt. We need to counterattack while we have surprise on our side. The Council warships moved into position, their formations deliberately chaotic. When they fired, they used Jack's modified weapons. Crude, energy inefficient, but devastatingly effective against the Vex shields. The lead Vex ship shuddered as its protection failed. Council weapons tore through its hull. They're retreating, someone shouted as the remaining Vex ships turned away. The command center erupted in celebration. Council members who had dismissed the humans now looked at them with new respect. Ambassador Zixtan approached Jack and Colonel Parker. Your primitive approach worked, he admitted. The Vex expected our usual tactics. You gave them something new. Sometimes new is just old seen from a different angle, Jack replied. Your technology is amazing, but you stopped looking for alternatives long ago. The Supreme Commander joined them. We need more. Your weapons work today, but the Vex will analyze and adapt. We need more human ideas. Colonel Parker nodded. We'll need a proper team. More humans with different perspectives. Engineers, historians, even artists. Artists? A Council member asked, confused. Creativity, Lisa explained. It's what makes humans different. We're messy, inefficient, and we try things that shouldn't work. Sometimes they don't. But sometimes primitive is exactly what you need, Jack finished. The Supreme Commander looked thoughtful. The Council has devoted thousands of years to perfecting our technology. We never considered that perfection might become a weakness. Outside the windows of the command center, the stars shone steadily. The Vex had been driven back, but everyone knew they would return. Next time, they would be ready for asymmetrical shields and random attack patterns. The real battle was just beginning. 2 weeks passed since the first victory against the Vex. More human experts arrived at the Council station each day. Engineers, military strategists, historians, even artists and musicians joined the effort. They worked alongside Council specialists, though not always smoothly. Your designs waste too much energy, a Council engineer complained to Jack as they modified a warship's weapons. That's the point, Jack replied patiently. Efficiency is predictable. The Vex expect it. In another section of the station, Colonel Parker trained mixed teams of human and Council soldiers. You must be willing to change plans mid-battle, she explained to the alien warriors. If you always follow the optimal strategy, the Vex will predict your every move. The Council fighters struggled with this concept. For thousands of years, they had relied on perfect formations and precise timing. Now humans asked them to embrace chaos. "We have a chance to test our new approach," Ambassador Zixtan announced during the daily briefing. A small group of Vex ships has been spotted near the Corellia system. The Council has authorized a mission to engage them. Colonel Parker stepped forward. "My team is ready." "As is mine," Jack added. "We've finished modifying 3 warships with our new systems." The Supreme Commander nodded. "You will leave immediately. This will be a test of the human methods in actual combat." 6 hours later, 3 Council warships approached the Corellia system. They had been beautiful once, with smooth lines and gleaming surfaces. Now they looked strange, their hulls covered with oddly shaped attachments, their engine outputs flickering in random patterns. Captain Ryan Peters commanded the lead ship. He had never been to space before coming to the Council station. Now he sat in the command chair of the most advanced vessel humans had ever seen. "Vex ships detected," reported a Council officer. 2 scout vessels. "Perfect," Ryan said. "Remember the plan. Approach using standard Council formations until the last moment." The warships moved forward in perfect geometric patterns. On their screens, the Vex ships turned to face them, clearly preparing defensive positions based on previous encounters. "Now," Ryan ordered. The 3 ships suddenly broke formation, each moving in a different, seemingly random direction. The Vex ships paused, as if confused. "Fire modified weapons," Ryan commanded. Energy beams lashed out, their patterns shifting every second. The first Vex ship's shields flickered and failed. The second attempted to retreat. "They're trying to escape to warn the others," Ryan said. "We can't let them." He made a decision that shocked the Council officers on his bridge. "Divert power from life support to engines," he ordered. "We need more speed." "But sir," a Council engineer protested, "that would endanger the crew." "For 3 minutes only," Ryan explained. "We can hold our breath if needed." The Council crew looked horrified, but they obeyed. The ship surged forward, catching the fleeing Vex vessel. Their weapons tore through its hull. Both Vex ships were destroyed. No messages escaped to their main fleet. When they returned to the station, the Council military leaders were waiting. The Supreme Commander looked troubled. "You deliberately damaged your own ship's systems," he said to Ryan. "You risked your crew." "Yes," Ryan admitted, "because it was necessary to complete the mission." Such sacrifice. The commander seemed to struggle with the concept. "Our training teaches us to preserve resources, to find the perfect balance. Humans understand that sometimes you must risk everything," Colonel Parker explained. "It's not about finding the perfect solution. It's about finding the solution that works right now." The news of their victory spread quickly through the station. More Council ships were modified with human designs. More Council warriors trained in human tactics. Not everyone approved. Some Council members still viewed humans as primitive, dangerous creatures. But others began to see something valuable in human approaches. "Perhaps," Ambassador Zixtan said quietly to Lisa, "perfection is not always the goal we should seek." The small victory boosted morale, but everyone knew the real test was still to come. The main Vex fleet was moving toward Council space, and they would be ready for simple tricks. Humanity would need to prove itself again. The Council station buzzed with activity as humans and aliens worked side by side. In a large workshop, Jack supervised the production of new weapons. On practice ranges, Colonel Parker trained mixed combat teams. In quiet corners, Lisa interviewed Vex prisoners, searching for weaknesses in their hive mind. Earth sent more resources each day. Not advanced technology, but human thinking. Artists helped design unpredictable shield patterns. Musicians created jamming signals that confused Vex communications. Historians provided ancient battle strategies the Vex had never encountered. Jack stood in the main engineering bay, surrounded by Council technicians. They were building what he called chaos boxes, devices that generated random energy patterns to disrupt Vex systems. "These will never work," a senior council engineer muttered. "There's no elegance to the design." "They don't need to be elegant," Jack replied. "They just need to be unpredictable." In another section, Colonel Parker studied a star map showing Vex fleet movements. The pattern suddenly became clear to her. They're not attacking random systems, she realized. They're following the old nomadic conquest pattern. Test the defenses, retreat, then hit the weakest point with everything. She rushed to the command center where the Supreme Commander was meeting with other leaders. "The main Vex fleet isn't coming here," she announced. "They're heading for Eleorix, your agricultural center. Cut off your food supply, and the rest falls easily." The council leaders looked skeptical. "Our intelligence suggests they will attack here, our command center," one argued. "That's what they want you to think," Colonel Parker insisted. "It's a diversion." After heated debate, the Supreme Commander made a decision. "We will send a defensive fleet to Eleorix. Captain Peters will lead it." Ryan Peters received his orders with calm determination. His fleet would include 15 ships, 10 council vessels, and 5 modified with human designs. "Not enough," Jack said when he heard the plan. "The Vex will send at least 30 ships." "It's all they can spare," Lisa told him. "The council still believes the main attack will come here." Jack thought for a moment. "Then we need something bigger than better weapons." He called an emergency meeting with his engineering team. For 2 days, they worked without rest. When they finished, Jack presented their creation to the Supreme Commander and Ambassador Zixton. "We call it the Chaos Field Generator," he explained. "It creates a massive area of quantum instability. Inside the field, all technology becomes unpredictable, even Vex systems." "Including our own?" the Supreme Commander asked. "Yes," Jack admitted. "That's the trade-off. Our ships will need to operate manually within the field. No advanced systems." "That's impossible," a council admiral protested. "No one can navigate space without computer assistance." "Humans can," Colonel Parker said. "We trained for emergency manual operations during our space program. It's primitive, but it works." "And the Vex?" Ambassador Zixton asked. "Their hive mind depends on perfect technological communication," Lisa explained. "Disrupt that, and they lose their advantage." Ryan's fleet departed for Eleorix the next day. The Chaos Field Generator, an ugly device cobbled together from various technologies, sat in his main cargo hold. As they traveled, Ryan trained his mixed human-alien crews for manual operations. "When the field activates, you'll need to rely on basic instruments only," he told them, "like sailing ships on Earth's oceans centuries ago." The council crew members struggled with the concept but practiced diligently. They reached Eleorix just as their scouts reported a massive Vex fleet approaching. 47 ships, the largest force seen yet. "We were right," Ryan said grimly, "and we're outnumbered 3-1. He opened a channel to all his ships. "This is Captain Peters. Prepare for manual operations. We're activating the chaos field." He gave the order, and Jack's device hummed to life. Around them, space itself seemed to ripple and distort. "Now we show them what primitive really means," Ryan said quietly. The Vex fleet appeared on the horizon, their ships moving in perfect formation. For now, the Vex fleet approached Eleorix in perfect formation. Their ships moved as one mind, one purpose, until they hit the chaos field. Suddenly, their neat lines broke apart. Ships veered in random directions, colliding with each other. Their weapons fired wildly or not at all. On Ryan's bridge, alarms blared as systems failed. Screens went dark. Artificial gravity flickered. "Manual operations," Ryan shouted, "just like we practiced." His human crew members sprang into action. They had trained for this, using skills passed down from Earth's earliest space missions. They checked simple gauges and adjusted controls by hand. The council crew members watched in amazement as the humans operated without computers. "Target the lead Vex ship," Ryan ordered. "Fire when ready." Without targeting computers, they aimed using basic optics and human judgment. Their first shots missed. Their second salvo struck a glancing blow. "Again," Ryan commanded. Meanwhile, the Vex struggled badly. Their hive mind, accustomed to perfect communication, couldn't function in the chaos. Their ships moved erratically, firing at random. "It's working," Ryan's second-in-command shouted. "They can't coordinate." The battle raged for hours. Ships on both sides took damage. 3 Council vessels were destroyed. But the Vex losses were far greater. 17 ships disabled or destroyed. Just when victory seemed possible, a massive Vex command ship appeared at the edge of the chaos field. It was 3 times larger than any they had seen before. It moved cautiously, staying outside the field's effect. "They're adapting," Ryan realized. "The command ship is directing the others from outside our jamming range." The Vex ships began to coordinate again, forming a rough attack pattern. "We need to take out that command ship," Ryan said. "It's outside the chaos field," his tactical officer pointed out. "Our weapons can't reach it from here." Ryan studied the situation. There was only one option, and it was desperate. "I'll take our ship out of the field," he decided. "We'll hit the command ship directly." "But sir," his council navigator protested, "outside the field, the Vex will target us immediately. We won't survive." Ryan nodded grimly. "Probably not. But we'll complete the mission." He opened a channel to the other ships. "Continue engaging the Vex here. We're going after their command ship." Ryan's ship turned and moved toward the edge of the chaos field. As they passed through, their systems came back online. But so did their vulnerability to Vex attacks. The command ship detected them immediately. Green energy beams lashed out, striking Ryan's vessel repeatedly. Alarms screamed as hull breaches opened across the ship. "Keep going," Ryan ordered as his crew fought fires and sealed compartments. "Full speed." On the council station, Jack, Lisa, and Colonel Parker watched the battle through long-range sensors. "They're not going to make it," Jack said quietly. On Ryan's ship, systems failed one by one. Half the bridge crew was dead or injured. Ryan himself worked to keep the ship on course, despite a deep cut across his forehead. "Distance to target?" he asked. 1,000 kilometers, came the reply. "Weapons range in 30 seconds. They're charging their main cannon," someone warned. "They'll fire before we can." Ryan smiled. "Exactly as planned. Overload our reactor. Now." His engineer stared. "Sir, that will destroy us." "And them." "Do it." The engineer hesitated, then nodded. He entered the commands. The ship's power core destabilized just as the Vex command ship fired. The resulting explosion was visible from the planet's surface, a new, brief star in the sky. When the light faded, both ships were gone. Without the command ship, the Vex fleet fell into disarray. The remaining Council and human vessels pressed their advantage, destroying ship after ship. Within hours, the battle was over. Back at the Council station, the Supreme Commander addressed the assembled representatives. "Today, we witnessed true courage," he said. "Captain Peters and his crew sacrificed themselves to save not just Eliorix, but perhaps our entire civilization." He turned to face the human delegation. "We called humans primitive," he continued. "We meant it as dismissal. Now we understand it was their greatest strength. While we sought perfection, they maintained the ability to adapt, to improvise, to sacrifice when necessary." Ambassador Zixton stepped forward. "The Council formally rescinds Earth's protected status. Humanity will join us as full and equal members of galactic society." As the Council members applauded, Colonel Parker, Jack and Lisa stood quietly, thinking of Ryan and his crew. "They called us primitive," Jack said softly. "They were right." "Yes," Lisa agreed, "and the galaxy needs that primitive spirit more than ever."